What's going on, Godzirra Nation? This is Arghgodzirra. We are back with another AFL tips and predictions video, looking ahead to round 7 action, and round 6 saw some big upsets go down. Been a really mixed year. A lot of things can happen. However, before we get started, I want to thank you all for supporting the competition thus far and supporting the videos I've been putting out too. It's been good interacting with everybody, talking about what your tips are, speculations about games. You ask me questions about teams, I've been able to answer them. It's great interacting with each and every one of you, and I urge you to comment more down in the comment section. You know where it's at. You've been putting the damn comments there. You definitely know where it's at. Keep them coming. If you've got questions you want to ask myself, whether they be how I think teams are performing, players are performing, anything at all, down there. That's where you do it. But it's time to look ahead. But before we look ahead, let's have a look at the week that was. Let's have a look at round 6 and let's see how that went down in the tipping competition this week. As you can see for myself, not a crash hot week. We got 5 out of 9. Not too bad. I'd say we broke even pretty much. Geelong ended up taking it down by 27 when I thought Brisbane would take it down by 28. We got the Collingwood tip right. Fremantle upset us. Then we got on a pretty solid streak. GWS let us down. Richmond bounced back, but still very disappointed with how they played. First quarter was great. Rest of the game, not so much. And then Carlton coming out and absolutely smacking the Bulldogs. And a couple of you told me during the week that you thought Carlton would get up, and I'm glad they did. But to turn our attention to the ladder, even though he tipped the same amount of tips as myself, El Snako still holds the lead up the top with a total of 37 tips. And I think this week, it seems that 6 was the most that was tipped by any given player in the competition. So, Motherfuckers, Dylan Carlton, Roxburgh, Kamal, they tipped 6. So you 4 were the highest tippers for the round. So congratulations on that. There were a few zeros tipped down the bottom there. I don't know whether they forgot to get their tips in or whatever the case may be, but hey, the game rolls on. Am I right? I'm only 2-3 behind the lead. Come up from 9th and we're sitting in 3rd, so very happy with that. But now it's time to turn our attention to round 7. And what really has been throwing me off is I've been doing these tips ahead of the teams being announced. So I don't know whether players are going to be dropped or whatever the case may be. I'm not using that as an excuse. But I do think my tips would change if I knew who was playing in the team, just to validate what I'm trying to do. But regardless, Thursday night, tomorrow night's game, absolute banger. Geelong, Collingwood. I've been tossing and turning with what decision I'm going to make here because I really don't know. It's over in Optus Stadium too, neutral ground. I'm going to tip Collingwood. And I'm going to tip them by 12 points. Let's go 14 points. It's going to be a close game. I was actually going to tip Geelong coming into this video, but now that I think about it, I think Collingwood... I'm not going to talk myself out of it. I'm tipping Collingwood. Next game on the card, Friday night, Metricon Stadium, Essendon and the Bulldogs. It's going to be interesting because Dylan Shiel is out for 2 weeks and he's undoubtedly been their best performer. And the Bulldogs, even though they got trumped by Carlton last week, can come out and do dog things. Smacked by Carlton when they're expected to win. They're probably, by the bookies at least here, expected to lose, which means going by dogs form, they'll get up and win. I'm going to tip Essendon. Only because they've been vastly more impressive this season. Sitting in the top 4 with a game in hand as well, so let's not forget about that. Saturday kicks off at Giant Stadium, GWS and Brisbane. I am going to go with GWS. Home ground advantage that's all I'm really playing into it. De Boer will lock down Lachie Neale. I still hope for my Supercoach sake Lachie Neale gets off the chain, but I'm backing the Giants to win this one. SCG, Sydney Gold Coast. Sydney going in without Isaac Heaney as well for the rest of the year. Kennedy out with a hamstring. I'm going to back the Gold Coast to upset in Sydney. Even though they're the favourites to win, I still think beating Sydney in Sydney, regardless of who you are, is a big feat. Richmond, North Melbourne, Metricon. Backing Richmond. The last 2 wins have been great. Last week we were on track to getting the lowest total score in history in the AFL. We didn't, but we came close. Very scrappy game, but Richmond are starting to find their feet. The first quarter, I thought, that's it. We're going to blast this game wide open. And it just didn't happen. But I'm hoping we've picked up enough momentum now to start getting that ball rolling properly. And we're back in the top 8 too, if you don't mind, so thank you very much. Carlton, Port Adelaide at the Gabba. Got to go with Port. And as much as I've been riding them off this year, they look like the real deal. They really do. At the moment, I would say Port Adelaide Collingwood Grand Final, from what I've seen this year. I hope not, because I hope my boys, the Tigers, are in there, but Port Adelaide and Collingwood, without a doubt, 2 of the better performers for the season. Hawthorn Melbourne at Giants Stadium. Gonna go with the Hawks. Melbourne managed to notch up a win, don't get me wrong, but Hawthorn have been vastly, vastly better all year. Still a dark horse to make finals too. Where are they situated right now? 13th. I still think they'll compete for a top 8 spot. Fremantle West Coast, Optus Stadium, the Derby West Coast. Self-explanatory really. And Adelaide St Kilda. Even in Adelaide, I am backing St Kilda. The wheels have fallen off at Adelaide. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but the wheels have fallen well and truly off, and they're chasing them down the road. That's how bad it's really gotten. But let's have a look at the tips. Collingwood Essendon, GWS, Gold Coast, Richmond, Port Adelaide, Hawthorn, West Coast Eagles, and St Kilda. Gold Coast alone. If you had told me coming into this season that I would be backing Gold Coast almost every week to get up and win, I would have slapped you. I just would have slapped you. But that wraps up this video, guys. Before we finish, don't forget to let me know who you think your certainty and your upset of the round is going to be. Certainty for the week. Is there a dead set certainty? I would have to say Port Adelaide over Carlton. As much as it pains me to say it to my Carlton supporting fans, I don't mean to throw you guys under the bus. I really don't. But Port Adelaide have just been too impressive this season to back against. Upset of the round? I think it comes to these two games here. If Fremantle beat West Coast in the Derby, and if Adelaide get their first win for the season against St Kilda. Those are the 2 upsets for me. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Thank you for joining me for yet another video. I hope you have been enjoying this. If you have been, hit that like button down below. It goes a long way to supporting myself, and I can't thank you guys enough for all that support. If you happen to be new to the channel, plenty of other content to check out, and if you dig what's going down, hit that subscribe button as well. On track to hopefully, fingers crossed, rounding the year out, not just hitting 1,000 subscribers, but hitting 2,000. That would be fantastic if we could hit that milestone. Thank you all. I seriously... Sometimes I feel I don't deserve the support you guys give me, so seriously, thank you. But that's it from me, guys. I'm out of here. Good luck to your teams this weekend, and as always, I will catch you guys next time.